This is the defendant's motion regarding custody and parenting time. Mr. Costello is present, represented by attorney Jessica S. Risky. Ms. Rocco is in pro se. Prior to going on the record, the court called the case and asked about the pronunciation of the defendant in this matter. And the reason the court asked is because a number of years ago, I'm probably talking about 10 years ago, the defendant's mother was a service provider for our family regarding our family pet. So I'm just placing that on the record. Also placing on the record that a number of years ago, I represented Mr. Costello in an unrelated proceeding, probably talking at least 10 years ago. No longer than that. Probably 13 years ago. Yeah. 13 years ago. So I'm placing that on the record so that everyone understands that when the court is to consider a motion like this, I am not favoring one side or the other because of the fact that I had a relationship a long time ago with the defendant's mother. By the way, I'm sorry to hear of her passing, but also to the representation that I had of Mr. Costello well over probably 13, 15 years ago. Mr. Rocco, is there any problem with the court hearing this?
No.
Appreciate that. All right. Both parties, please raise your right hands.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give in this case is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do. Thank you. Ms. Risky, you may proceed.
Your Honor, I'm just going to help your standings.
I appreciate that.
It's a lot easier for me. As I had detailed in the motion, the court had entered an order back in February of 2024, so it's just been barely over a year. And in that last year, we have had so many issues. My client has tried over and over and over to co-parent, to assist. I mean, he has gone above and beyond her paying her car insurance to make sure she's got an insured vehicle for the minor child, to allowing her to move back in because she's bouncing around from home to home and boyfriend to boyfriend.
Moving back in.
My client allowed her to move back in August of 2024 to his home with a minor child because she was effectively homeless.
How long did that period last?
She just moved out not even a month ago.
Okay.
About 3 weeks ago.
Okay. Go ahead.
With another significant other. There's been hospitalizations on and off of medication. Even on her parenting time, she's pawning the child off on dad, grandparents. She has been completely inconsistent the entire time since the last order of the court. And for minor child, consistency is key. She needs a safe, stable environment, and she needs parents who are going to be able to provide the proper care for her. If she has a mother who cannot be trusted to take her mental health medication and then therefore is having issues dropping the child off, I can't take care of this child, I don't want to see this child, and then having to be hospitalized, that's a risk for safety. She is unable to hold a job, I think more so unwilling, and so that is why we are seeking that my client be awarded the sole physical custody and that parenting time be every other weekend for her year-round and holiday time pursuant to the Huron County Friend of the Court guidelines. I understand that she's been told her, but she has failed to file an answer in any way, shape, or form to the court, to my office. We're not opposed to a Friend of the Court investigation, because we don't argue that at the time that this was all said and done back then, there was hope that they could co-parent and things could go well. And my client has tried repeatedly to assist her, but if we just allow this to continue, at some point this minor child is going to suffer irreparable harm. So again, we would be opposed to that if that's what the court wishes to do, and if that's what the Friend of the Court thinks would be appropriate, but we would ask in the meantime that my client be granted temporary sole physical custody per every other weekend, in pending that recommendation.
Thank you. Ms. Rocco, your response. Please stand when you address the court. Thank you.
Your Honor, I am not a perfect mother, but I am a trying mother that also wants full custody of my daughter due to her safety, well-being, because there has been rules that we have been through with you in the court that we determined back in 2022. And some of those rules got broken, and it is all on the court app. I have video, text messages of proof that on me, because I did not know what the lawyer was going to argue with today about. I'm a trying mother. I'm not perfect, but I'm there for my daughter when I can possibly be, when he allows me to be there. Because sometimes he will put it over my head and not allow me to see my daughter when it's his time, and I understand that. But I even try to be there for her on his time too. I have done shots in my stomach when I was pregnant with her because of blood clotting issues. I did more appointments when I was pregnant with her. I did everything a mother should do when I was pregnant with her. I ate a lot, I took care of myself when I was pregnant. I had put her in MSU testing for autism because we suspect autism, and that was my idea. Mr. Costello didn't think it was really of an issue until I had to multiple times tell him we need to do this for her well-being. I have put her in a STAR program, speech class. I have done a lot for her, and there has been times that he has forfeited his time, and you can see that on the court app. I'm not a perfect mother, but I'm a trying mother that loves her daughter. And I would like full custody too. Just because
But you've not filed a motion,
I have not,
and you've not filed.
because
an answer.
I've tried to do the 2-2-3 like you wanted us to do. And I've been trying to co-parent with him for the past 2 years, and he's made it feel very impossible and has not been fair. And he has currently forfeited 2 days so far. And he has used excuses of why he forfeited, which if it's his parenting time, he still needs to watch her. And I don't mind helping him, but when I've helped him and he's used that against me, saying that I have forfeited my time. So, I can only help him to a certain amount. So why give him custody, full custody, or whatever he wants when he still needs my help? His mother has passed away, and I think more now than ever, Brielle needs both of us. And I've always put her before myself. That's why she's in his STAR program, speech class. She's getting tested for autism. I've made for sure when she's sick, she has everything that she needs. I tell Brent that this is what she needs. I'm sorry that I need your help financially, but I can't do it as a single mother all by myself. But I'm trying, Your Honor.
Okay. A question for you though, and then Ms. Risk, you have the ability to question you as well. The 2-2-3 arrangement, that wasn't what the court wanted. That was agreed to between you and
Yes,
Mr. Costello.
yes.
So it wasn't a matter of the court wanting you to do that.
Yeah, we were
That's what
trying.
you agreed to.
Yeah, we were trying to do that, and Mr. Costello recently has been breaking that rule, and he's also broken another rule, part of our agreement, and that is drinking on his parenting time. And there is proof on the court app that he admitted to drinking on his parenting time.
Where are you currently living now?
I am living with my current boyfriend in Owendale, and we have a house that is perfectly safe for her and is baby proofed. And she has food there, and she has a room, and she has everything that she needs.
Could you please step up to the witness stand? Ms. Risky, you may question.
Ms. Rocco, when did you move to Ondale?
Approximately roughly 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago.
But prior to that, you were living,
With Mr. Costello.
yeah, so you were living with him, and you would have been living with him for approximately 6 months, correct?
Since roughly August.
And where do you work?
I'm currently
Where was your last place of employment?
Tower Kindergarten.
Okay, when was that?
I quit in November.
All right, how long did you work there?
I don't,
You know when you started there?
I don't recall.
Okay, so were you working there in August when you moved in with Mr. Costello?
I don't think so.
What was your prior job before that?
I don't recall.
So in the year of 2024, how many months would you say you were employed?
I don't recall.
You don't know how long you worked there.
Well, I've been staying at home taking care of my daughter when Mr. Costello was working and doing overtime.
How do you pay your bills?
I have Mr. Costello used to take care of it.
Now, you had mentioned earlier that Mr. Costello will stop you from seeing your daughter, true?
Yes, sometimes when it was his parenting time and he was upset with me and I wasn't helping him with parenting time.
And when was this?
Back when I was living with my ex-husband.
And when was that?
I don't know, maybe a year ago, 2 years ago.
Okay, so that was
A year and a half ago.
a year and a half ago.
I don't remember.
Okay, so I'm referring to everything that's happened since February of 2024. So in February of 2024 to now, how many times has he denied you parenting time?
I don't recall. That can be looked on the court app.
Well, you do understand that today is the motion hearing, so you should bring those types of proofs with you, true?
Well, Your Honor, I didn't know.
I'm not your honor, that is.
My bad.
It's okay.
Anyways, I did not know what we were gonna be discussing. I thought this was gonna be short.
Okay, so, and you're trying to mention that you've attempted to co-parent with him, and you're referring to since February 1st of 2024, true?
Repeat that again?
When you had mentioned that you had difficulties with co-parenting with him,
Yes,
were these difficulties from,
since she's been born.
I'm not talking about since you've been born, I'm asking specifically if it was from February 1st of 2024 on.
It's been difficult for almost 2 years.
So if it's been so difficult, why did you move back in with Mr. Costello?
Because I wanted Riel to have her father in the picture and I wanted to be civil for both of us and try to maybe get our family back together.
When has he ever not been in the picture?
There has not been a time.
Now, you were hospitalized back in December of 2024, correct?
Yes,
Okay, so how long were you hospitalized for mental health issues?
a week.
Okay, and upon your release, instead of going to Mr. Costello's house to see your daughter, you went to a hotel with your new boyfriend, true? True?
My daughter and Mr. Costello was out for somebody's birthday party, and I'm not allowed to be out with them because their family is not too friendly with me. So I decided to stay back and not go to that party.
But you could have went back to Mr. Costello's house, right?
I don't find it necessary for me to go back there when he has his family helping with her. I don't have to be at his house if I don't want to.
But you were living there.
Just because I'm living there does not mean I have to go, I have to be there 24/7.
Right, but you hadn't seen your daughter in over a week because you had been hospitalized.
She was already out, and I could not see if she was not at the house.
You know when she returned to the house?
Yes, I did.
When was it?
It was late at night,
Okay, and when did you return home? Not till the next day, right?
next morning.
Now, are you consistently taking your mental health medication?
I only take anxiety medication and depression medicine, and I no longer take it
Why?
because it is not helping.
Do you see a psychiatrist?
I do
Okay, and how often do you see that psychiatrist to have help with these
once
issues?
a month
When's the last time you saw them?
before I went into the hospital,
So so you're talking like 3-4 months ago.
back in 2024. I still see a therapist.
Okay, so where's your daughter going to Head Start at?
The Head Start program that he's come out to, was going out to Mr. Costello's house. When, Mr. Costello was at work, the ladies would come over. Sometimes they would come over when he got out of work, but some half of the time, they would come over to his house when I was there with him.
Okay, and so she's been consistently doing that at his home, true?
Yes,
Okay, So how many people are living in this Ondale house?
Me and my boyfriend.
You mentioned you had stuff for your daughter, true?
Correct.
It's also true that you picked it up in like the last 24, 48 hours, true?
No,
No?
no.
Okay. Do you receive assistance for yourself and the minor child?
Actually, I was living with my stepfather, yes.
Okay. So how do you intend on providing any type of basic, necessities for your daughter when being unemployed and receiving no assistance?
I am currently fixing up my new house. And, once the painting job is done, the furniture is in, I was going to start looking at jobs. I didn't want to put in any applications because I didn't know how far it was gonna go, and I didn't want to start a new job while doing court issues, well, not issues, but doing court stuff.
Okay, so what's held you back the last 9 months on getting a job?
Because I have anxiety, I have depression, because I have postpartum depression, and it really has not gone away.
Okay, and so that would be the reason that for the dozens of times that you have
It was not
to.
dozens of times.
I didn't finish my question there. But, that the anxiety and depression that you suffer with would be the reason that you had taken your child to her grandparents as well as her father a number of
Not the
times.
only reason. I had appointments, I had EMDR treatment, and therapy appointments, doctor's appointments. I cannot take her to my EMDR treatments because I cannot keep my eyes on her because that kind of therapy is, I have to be focused and I have to be really into it. My attention cannot be on my daughter when I'm doing EMDR treatments.
So that's the therapy that you're currently engaged in.
EMDR treatment and regular therapy.
And you had mentioned that there was some issues with the trading some days and not sticking to the 2-2-3 schedule, true?
Yes.
And isn't it also true that it was because Mr. Costello asked you for some assistance to deal with the death of his mother at her funeral?
That is correct.
And it is correct.
I watched him.
Yeah, okay, that's,
And even when he was back home, he still needed my help with her. Which is not, it's not part of the agreement.
okay, so you don't believe that if someone else.
If he was to be fair and to, help me when I needed help, I would have not, had such an issue with it.
You don't think that putting a roof over your head, paying for your cell phone and your car insurance and providing for all your basic necessities is not helping you?
Mr. Costello he has paid the car insurance most of the time, but my cell phone did not always pay.
Okay, all right. Your Honor, I could go on and on all day. I'm just gonna leave it here, and if we need to continue, like I said, we can do that, but I know you have
All
a
right,
backup.
thank you. Anything else you want to add? But I have to caution you though, miss, we have to look from 2/1/24 forward, not prior to that. We have to look at the order that was last entered on February 1st, 2024, moving forward. Anything you wish to add?
Hmm.
Okay, you may step down.
Thank you.
Wish to call your witness.
Yes, I'm gonna call my phone, Your Honor.
Sir, please step up to the witness stand. You're under oath.
All right, Brent, I'm gonna just kind of go through a couple of things with you. As we've already went through, we're gonna go from February 2024, okay? So I need you to say yes or no, not okay, because I gotta keep a record, okay? So, in the last year, would you say that it is a true statement that Haley has forfeited her parenting time to you or your parents at least 40 different times?
Yes.
Excuse me, your name, please, for the record.
Brent Costello.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Sorry, Your Honor.
No, you're fine.
And to your knowledge, Haley has also resided in a number of different places over the last year, true?
Yes.
And in August of 2024, you allowed her to move back in with you, is that true?
Yes.
Because she was effectively homeless.
Yes.
Okay, and so you allowed her to live with you for approximately 7 months.
Yes.
And during that time, you were paying for almost all of her living expenses.
Yes.
And there were a number of times that it was her parenting time, but she's out and about with various significant others, true?
Yes.
And it was your responsibility to make sure that your daughter was cared for.
Yes.
And you make sure that she has everything she needs, is that true?
Yes.
And if the court were to modify the custody arrangement, you already have plans in place for your daughter, is that true?
Yes.
So you've already been working on potential daycares and things of that nature, is that true?
Yep.
And for your child's entire life, where you live, has really been her home.
Yes.
And your living situation, that's a steady, permanent home. You're gonna be there for probably forever.
Yes.
And for the last year, you've spent a significant amount of time with Haley because you allowed her to live there, is that true?
Yes.
And would you agree that she's definitely struggled with her mental health?
Yes.
Is there concerns that she does not take her medication appropriately?
Yes.
And due to her, issues with mental health, do you have concerns that your daughter, will not be appropriately taken care of?
Yes.
You still want to be able to co-parent with Haley, right?
Yes.
And you, in the event that at some point she does take her medication like she's supposed to, and she does become stable, you want her to be a more active part of your daughter's life, is that true? Would you say that it's fair that you did try over the last year very hard to work with her and to get her to a better place?
Yes.
Is that why you did things like paying 6 months of car insurance and things like that?
Yes.
And on top of that, during that time though, you were still like paying your child support, doing all those things.
Yes.
So it's absolutely true. This isn't a mind thing for you. You're just looking out for the best interest of your child.
Yes.
And you say you have a great relationship with your daughter.
Yes.
And you've been gainfully employed for how long?
Almost 13 years.
And you're doing well?
Same place, but yes.
So, there are no concerns on your ability to be able to provide proper care for her, true?
Yeah, great.
Okay. And going back to, you had heard Haley discuss a few things about you forfeiting a couple of days. Do you remember that?
I don't recall that, no.
But there was a period of time where you had tried to reach an alternative agreement to where your daughter would stay with her for a few days that would have been off schedule, true?
Yes.
And that was due to the death of your mother.
Correct.
And then on the day of your mother's funeral, she was going back on that, like, I'm not helping you, it's your time, take care of it.
Correct.
Yeah, so. Do you believe that, the distance between where you currently live and now where she's living at in Oakdale is gonna be feasible with the current, the 2-2-3 schedule?
No.
No. I don't think I have anything further.
Mr. Rocco, do you have any questions of,
Yes, I do, Your Honor. I was wondering if I could also cross-examine Mr. Costello.
that's what I asked. So you may step up to the podium and ask the appropriate question.
Mr. Costello, I'm curious, you told, your lawyer that I did not help you, with your mother's passing, correct? You told her I wasn't.
I'll rephrase what I said. And when it was more of a struggle to get you to help, you did that one day, but then the following during the funeral, you gave her back earlier than what I was expecting. So you did help during the wait, but it was a struggle to get, it was a fight with you.
But I did help you the next day, right? And how long did I stay for?
For the funeral,
For
following
both
days
days,
for the,
for
yes.
both days, how
So-
long did I stay with you to help you?
We almost stayed for the wake, I think 7 or 8 roughly, and then the following day, you brought her back, at the luncheon. So that was roughly 2:30. But I mean, you brought her back earlier than I expected, but
And, you had said to your lawyer that you would like to co-parent with me. You would like to continue on.
I do, but I just want to make sure there's stability with you and you got your medication corrected and she's in a stable home and I can trust your
And,
partner and whatnot.
but you have said you wanted to co-parent, but you're wanting to take sole and physical custody away from me. So
During this time.
how is that trying to co-parent when you're trying to take away custody?
At this time, like I said, just once you get medication corrected and you have more stability in your life, get a job. And I know I can 100% trust you with our daughter and your boyfriend or the household. And, you know, there's more stability, not just be with somebody for a month and be like, yes, I can trust that person. No, there's gotta be like, okay, they're together. I know my daughter is gonna be around this person for longer than a few months and not just someone else.
And I understand that, Mr. Costello. But one of your reasons, one of our agreements is that we were not going to drink on custody time. Now, did you or did you not break that rule?
I would say, after my mother's passing, yes, because I struggled.
Did
After my
you
mother's
break
passing,
that rule when you were not supposed to drink on your parenting?
I'm gonna
time?
object, asked and answered, he just said he did. And I would ask that she stop talking over him, because we also have to keep a record of this
I agree.
and let him answer the
Okay,
question.
sorry.
He did answer the question. He admitted to it. Go to your next question, please, and wait until the answer is complete. Go ahead.
Sorry, Harold.
No, you're fine.
I think that's all.
Okay. You may step down. Further proofs.
No, Your Honor, I don't have any further proofs. And again, I'm sorry, again, my request would be that my client be awarded, sole physical and legal custody of the minor child who has every other weekend, year round and holidays by regular court guidelines. And if the court's willing to do that, even just temporarily, pending in front of the court. But I think that there's enough here on the record. The issue is the stability and being able to provide that constant support for the young child. She is so young. And it's Mr. Costello that's been doing that and providing that stability her entire life. And the only time that her mother has been able to provide any type of stability is because of Mr. Costello, who's essentially doing it for her. It is about the best interest of the child, and I believe that the factors all would be in favor of Mr. Costello during this.
But your prayer for relief asks for sole physical, doesn't say legal.
You're correct, and I would amend that right now, based off of the testimony that was heard, as she is, told the court of her struggles with anxiety and depression, and her unwilling, not seeing a psychiatrist and not taking the medication. Those are huge concerns, okay? That's not something that we really wanted to have to do. And you also heard testimony from Mr. Costello, who this isn't something that we want to do forever. I mean, I can't tell you how much this has pained him to do it, but you have to do it in the best interest of your child, and that's what he's doing. So, and he will continue to do that. And once she's able to prove stability, prove that she can provide the proper care, custody, and, and for the child as well as herself, it's going to be expanded, because Mr. Costello knows how important a mother's role is, but they have to be healthy and stable to have a positive impact on their child's life. We all know what having an unstable, whether it's an environment or mental health of a parent, can do to such a small child.
Thank you. Ms. Rocco, your response.
Your Honor, I believe that I have had, either between his mother and I, have had the most awake time with her. Just because I have anxiety that has developed after going through a traumatic assault. I am still dealing with it. And I'm a trying mother that's here right now, trying to fight for my daughter, and I will until I'm no longer on this planet. I have put my money, hard working sweat into my daughter. I've taken her at 3 o'clock in the morning to the hospital when she's had ear infections. She's had UTIs. Mr. Costello said we should wait in the morning, but I insisted to take her right away. Just because I have anxiety does not mean I'm unsteady. I'm not a unsteady place for her to be at. If I have an issue, I used to take her to her grandparents' house for a couple of hours or a day or two. If there was something wrong, I took care of the issue so that she would not be in harm. Even if I did have anxiety, she's not going to be in harm. It's just anxiety. My mental health does not determine on what I do for my daughter. It's what I do for myself. I can take care of myself because I'm here right now, dressed up, hair put together. I'm all put together here, fighting to continue to do the 223. I mean, I would like to get full custody, but I want Brent, Mr. Costello, to be in her life because I have not once taken her away from him. And Your Honor, I feel like this has all started when I move out of his house and I'm no longer doing what he says. Behind closed doors, nobody knows and who anybody can really truly be. Mr. Costello is a good father when he is present and wants to be present. When he would do overtime at work, I would appreciate it that he did overtime. But then he would come home and I would be by myself taking care of her, feeding dinner, changing her, and all his responsibilities were to give her a bath. And I would put her to bed and I would wake up in the middle of the night and give her the bottle and put her back to sleep. Mr. Costello has helped sometimes with that. But
I'm gonna object at this point because we just referenced the bottle. The child's older than that. This is from February of 2024. I understand that she's in full her, but
Counsel, I agree. It's a statement of facts, not an evidence. So anything else to finish your argument?
I am a trying mother. Just because I have anxiety is no excuse to take her child away, my child away from me. I think it's going to hurt Brielle.
Thank you. All right. This is a motion filed by father for custody and modification of custodial time. Since February 1st, 2024, the party stipulated to an order regarding custody on a 223 basis. Joint legal, joint physical custody. The motion brought by Mr. Costello here is requesting a modification of that. And before the court can order, even consider a modification, there must be an establishment of, at least by preponderance of the evidence, one, either proper cause or change in circumstance. Based upon the testimony presented in this case and review of the motion filed in this case, the court finds that there is a change in circumstance since the entry of the last custody order, which was February 1, 2024. This court finds that conditions surrounding custody of the child, which however could have a significant effect on the child's well-being, have materially changed. The testimony provided during the course of this hearing was prior to, during the course of this process, both mother and father were living together for a period of time. It appears that father was providing the financial support, which again, that doesn't mean that because he does the financial support, that's the end all, because providing care for a child is, as far as the court's concerned, equal. If you're working overtime, the other parent's working overtime to make sure the child's needs are being taken care of. I don't deny that. However, from what I've heard, according to the testimony, there are some significant mental health concerns. Testimony of mother herself that she does not take her medication anymore. She feels it doesn't help. But that is an issue for the court because, again, when you self-doctor and you make your own, and you have the right to make your own decision regarding your own mental well-being or your physical well-being, there is a history of mental issues, and that is concerning to the court. The fact that mother has moved out of the home, in and out, various homes throughout this time frame, and no stable housing indicates to the court that there is a change in circumstance by preponderance of the evidence. Now, regarding established custodial environment at this point, I don't have a lot of evidence regarding that, but it appears that at least up until the time that mother moved out, there is an established custodial environment with both parties. And this is just on an interim basis, by the way. And as it's with both parents, it must be by clear and convincing evidence. Now, the court has not heard evidence regarding all the factors of this case, and the court's not going to be able to pass judgment on all of them. But as to what I think is important is factor B, capacity and disposition of the parties to give the child love, affection, and guidance. Clearly, both parties can do so. However, with the mental health concerns, that favors father. The capacity C, or I should say part C, capacity and disposition to provide the child with food, clothing, medical care, other remedial care. That favors father as well, based upon the testimony presented. Now, I'm not faulting mother for not working. Certainly she was working. She quit in November, but had no explanation as to how long she was even working there, which ties in with the mental health concerns. Factor D favors father. The length and time the child has lived in a stable, satisfactory environment, desirability of maintaining continuity. The child has been living primarily at father's residence. Our mother was residing there as well. She's moved out. She's moved into the Owendale area. Have no information regarding the housing. And clearly that also goes to factor E, the permanence of the existing or proposed home. Clearly, the permanence has been with father. That factor favors father as well. The factor G is also significant, the mental and physical health of the parties involved. The court has already made reference to the mental health concerns that have been presented. That favors father as well. As a result, based upon those factors alone on an interim basis, the court is going to order that the current parenting or the custodial schedule, parenting time schedule, will be modified. That is, the parties shall maintain legal custody. However, as to physical custody on an interim basis, father shall have physical custody of the minor child, that is. Mother shall have parenting time alternate weekends, Friday at 6, Sunday at 6. My question is, Mr. Costello, first, when does the weekend begin? Does it begin today or does it begin next Friday at 6?
Friday.
Mr. Rocco, we begin it next Friday?
Friday would start spring break and holidays.
Oh, it's spring break. Okay, that's right. That's a different schedule.
I don't know whose year it would be.
Sure.
Parties wish to start the weekend schedule next weekend. Mom is entitled to spend
Okay,
That's what it is.
okay,
So it begins next weekend because mom loves spring break.
okay.
Go ahead.
Your Honor, is it too late to have witnesses for people to speak for me?
At this point in time, it's based on it's preponderance of the evidence standard. And at this point in time, I'm standing by my order. But this is temporary. This is temporary. I'm ordering a front of the court investigation regarding custody, parenting time, and support in this matter. Otherwise, prior orders will remain in effect at this time.
So Your Honor, do I have to give her back today?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. That'll be all. Thank you.